Happy Saturday, Shredders. I just figured since we might all be stuck in the house, if you're not out doing yard work on this beautiful Saturday, I think it's already close to 80 degrees here in Northport, Alabama. Wanted to maybe see if you wanted to spice up a little bit of your pentatonic playing today. Show you some of the things that I do when I'm playing pentatonic to get out of that boring box feel. Really going to stay in one position for this little lesson. But just know that if you want to expand that, we can pretty much traverse this whole thing and stay in that zone. Going to primarily stay in the pentatonic 2-note per string out of the D minor box shape, but might venture off into three-note modal. Give you a little exercise or a little education, because what I wanted to do was basically show you a couple styles. One being like what Randy Rhoads, who in my opinion is the GOAT, what he likes to do when he plays a lot of pentatonic. People don't realize he's just really good, and he does a lot of different things to basically beef that up to feel volume and time. Kirk Hammett, gonna show you what he would do in that same scenario. A little more modal when I do the Kirk Hammett, but we're gonna do this at D minor. We're going to use this box. But instead of just doing that, this is what I wanted to do today, was kind of just break this down and maybe give you something to practice, give you something to jam over some D minor backing tracks. So you can YouTube D minor backing tracks. You can even change how you search the beats per minute, where you can go from, a bluesy slow speed to even, shred metal, high BPM stuff. But you can basically practice this box over everything. So, you heard me do this. That's the box, right? But you don't want to be stuck in that. All right, and there's some simple little nuances you can add to that. And the one I want to start with is how Randy Rhoads would do it. He does this type of thing in Mr. Crowley, Crazy Train, golly, even Over the Mountain, Flying High Again, where he will do, in a lot of cases, that simple box. But all right, here's the first one. Instead of just going up like that, stack them, double up. Randy Rhoads was the master of doubling up. He doubled up so many licks just to either stretch out so that he could come back into the timing, or just because he was Randy Rhoads and he could do whatever he wants. So instead of going straight out like this, stack them, double up. And what I was doing was I was basically grouping that into 6 notes per run, I believe. Let's try that again. Let's do it slow. So then every time I reached the 6th note, I would actually back up a string and start over. So instead of going through it, I was going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then back up a string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then back up a string. And back up a string. He would do that a lot. That's kind of one of his cutting edge little progressions he would do, was just basically doubling up or backtracking. And see, I did the same thing. I did the same run. I just, every 6 notes, I backed up a string. So I'd go to the D string, then I would back up to the A string and start over. Then I would back up to the D string and start over. Then I'd back up to the G string, start over. And a lot of the times when I'm descending that, I'll double up the second set of notes. So let me show you that one, because there's a little kickback in there. What I'll do is I'll start here at 13 and 10. We're in that D minor shape, right? 13, 10, then 13 on the B string, back to 10 on the high E string, and then double the 13, 10 on the B string. So, and then just repeat that pattern all the way up. So, you just speed it up. Repetition, muscle memory. All right, so that's two like kind of Randy Rhoads flares that he would do that. On the ascending, you would stack it, do basically groups of 6. All right, so that's kind of Randy Rhoads flare, and it's still all legato. Really, I was mainly picking once or twice per string. All right, if I wanted to go modal and kind of sound more like Kirk Hammett, Metallica, a little more of that metal phrase, you would pick more notes. And so what we'll do on that is we'll go into the D minor scale on that. And basically the difference between D minor and D major is that third note. That's the real kicker note that changes everything. So on a D major scale, you would go D, E, F sharp. That gives you your major zone. But we're gonna minor that third, right? We're gonna back that third down a half step. And so you get the difference. Here's the major, here's the minor. See how more mournful and dark that sounds? But we're gonna stay in this box. Same notes are here for the major. Same notes. We're gonna minor that third. So it's gonna go 12, or 10, 12, 13. That's how we get that dark sound. All right, so to walk that up, we're gonna actually do this in more of an Aeolian mode, which is gonna go the D note, 10, 12, 13. I'm gonna go 10, 12 on the A string. I'm gonna go 9, 10, 12 on the D string. 9, 10, 12 on the G string. 10, 11, 13 on the B string, and then 10, 12, 13 on the high E string. Now, those notes, in order to get that Kirk Hammett style that he would do, he always liked to kind of group them in 4s, 5s, and 6s on the way he would pick those notes. So the way I would do, all right, so like Fade to Black solo, Unforgiven, even some of the Inner Sandman, he does a lot of these walk downs like this. That's it. You're still in that D minor, you're still in that box, you're going a little more modal, a little more of the minor scale than just the pentatonic 2 notes. All right, so with this, we're gonna walk that down. And you get that more melodic metal sound. Iron Maiden, Kirk Hammett, that style where you're picking all those notes. So I like to use those in the D minor category too. So just some things, and like I said, if you are a little more fluent on where those D notes are, we're staying in one position, right? That's why I said that's why in my first G major scale tutorial video I said it's so important to learn where all those notes are, because yeah, you can get stuck here. And for this video we did that on purpose. We stayed in that box just to give you some more licks, right, or to help you improvise that scale. But it's very important to go beyond this when you're ready to learn those notes everywhere. So maybe I gave you something to kill some time today.